campus of the College of Staten Island, CSI Sportsnet presents NCAA Division II women's basketball coverage. In tonight's non-conference matchup, the College of Staten Island Dolphins take on the University of New Haven Chargers. Good evening, everybody. My name is Joe Foreman alongside Nick Durst once again. And Nick, the Dolphins come in with a record of 1-1, coming off of a very difficult loss at the hands of Holy Family University.
Yes, certainly. After they beat Wilmington in the first game, 65-63, a really exciting game. We saw some great performances by some key newcomers. Gia Esposito, who overall 24 points in the season, and Elizabeth LaFaro with 14 points. And she is the Rookie of the Week in the East Coast Conference. So congratulations to her. We're looking to her to lead the way here today. But yes, rough loss there in the second game of the season, and a tough opponent here in the Chargers, who started the season off 2-0.
East Coast Conference Rookie of the Week, Elizabeth LaFaro for the College of Staten Island. And as I mentioned, the Dolphins did drop their second game to Holy Family. Following that thrilling win over Wilmington University, the Dolphins fell to the Tigers in their second game, 59-50. A 13-minute scoreless stretch for the Dolphins in that game. How can they turn it around at the offensive end of the floor?
Yeah, they just couldn't get anything to fall there, and the ball movement kind of got a little stagnant. A lot of turnovers, a lot of travels, and something that was driving me crazy, I'm sure it was driving the coaching staff crazy as well, was the inability for the Dolphins to inbound the ball. 3 times they went to inbound the ball under their basket or on their sideline, and they turned it over, and the other team capitalized and got a lot of points off turnovers in that game.
Well, in addition to that 13-minute scoreless stretch, the Dolphins allowed 23 points off of turnovers in that game. So a very tough game for the College of Staten Island in that one. And very quickly, for the 1-1 University of New Haven, they come in following a thrilling victory, 76-74 over Georgian Court. They won that game on a buzzer beater. This is a team that scores it from the inside very well, doesn't typically like to shoot the outside shot. We'll see how the Dolphins contend with their inside presence in this game, but with just 30 seconds on the clock, Nick, it is time to introduce starting lineups and play the national anthem out on the floor. So you and I will step aside and take a break. When Nick and I come back, the College of Staten Island takes on the University of New Haven and this NCAA Division II women's basketball non-conference matchup.
Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island. Be sure to check out the Kettle Black's monthly calendar.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials, live music, and the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
A graduate guard from Torrington, Connecticut, number 25.
And welcome back inside the tank on the campus of the College of Staten Island for this NCAA Division II women's basketball non-conference matchup between the College of Staten Island and the University of New Haven. Right now on the floor, the starters are being introduced for the Chargers, and with the starting lineup for both teams, my broadcast partner, Nick Durst.
All right, Joe, for the University of New Haven, number 11, Cameron Dubose. Number 12, making a homecoming of sorts, Brianna Van Cleef from Staten Island, New York. Number 22, Bianca Chambers. Number 25, Bree Pergola. And number 34, Aora Deshays. Now, for Staten Island, for the Dolphins, number 2, Ashley Lambert. Number 3, Noemi Masinge. Number 13, Jenelise Alarcon. Number 14, Elizabeth Lafaro, as we mentioned before in the pregame, the ECC Rookie of the Week. And number 15, Christina Arvello.
Well, Nick, I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge the job being done on public address right now. TJ Tibbs, Interim Director of Athletics, introducing the Dolphins. And this Dolphins team, Nick, as I mentioned during the pregame, coming off of a very difficult loss. They did not score for 13 minutes straight in that game. And I think if you're a coach of this team or a fan of this team, it's good to see the team back in good spirits and with a chance to avenge that defeat, getting back on the floor quickly, coming off of what was a very tough loss for them.
Yeah, no doubt about it, and what a way to get the crowd pumped up here. Mr. Tibbs leading the way, and Christina Arvello throwing away some giveaways to the fans in the stands. Not many people here, but they are rowdy, they're ready to go, and the Dolphins are going to take on the Chargers for the second time this season. Of course, we saw them in men's, and we are ready to get underway here, Joe.
Before we get underway this afternoon, we would like to remind you that the
Both teams taking the floor, and you mentioned it, Nick, right now, behind the Dolphins bench, CSI throwing some T-shirts into the crowd. Those are the Fanatics sitting behind the Dolphins benches. A new fan zone has been established, so if you are a fan of the Dolphins, get here nice and early for your seat among the Fanatics. You just might go home with a T-shirt and some other special giveaways, so be sure to come out and support the Dolphins. Once again, for those who are unaware, you now need to have an account on the Cleared4 app to attend a Dolphins home game, uploading either proof of vaccination or a negative PCR COVID-19 test.
Thank you for your cooperation and enjoy the game.
We are underway from the College of Staten Island. Chargers possess it first. There's Pergola with it, hands off to Chambers, and the Chargers now working around the perimeter. That's Pergola on the drive, and she knocks down the first shot of the game for the University of New Haven.
Nice and smooth there by Pergola, moving the ball around. Swish.
Dolphins facing an early press, and one possession into the game for CSI. We have our first travel.
So after the Pergola shot, Dolphins looking to come back and answer, but first turnover of the game.
This is DeBose up top. Chargers once again working it around the outside. Bounce pass into the middle, kick out, back up top. This is Van Cleef on the drive, kick into the corner. Here comes Chambers, and her pass was knocked away by Lafaro, out of bounds with 11 to shoot. Chargers basketball.
Chargers maintain possession, but nice defense there from the Dolphins.
Inside of 10 to shoot for New Haven. Three-point attempt is good by Pergola.
Pergola coming out hot here. 5-0 Pergola in this game.
I spoke about it briefly during the pregame. The Chargers not a team that shoots from the outside much, but Pergola wasting no time, scoring 5 quick points, 3 of them coming from downtown.
Yeah, you got a nice Rilk on the replay there, her last three-pointer.
Dolphins throw up an early air ball. Here come the Chargers back the other way. This is DeBose, double-teamed in the corner. Back up top to Van Cleef. The Chargers will reset here. DeBose in the corner, three-pointer, no good. And rebounded by Alarcon. Christina Arvello Facing pressure across the half-court line. She drives left side, and that finger roll no good.
Easy layup there by Deshays, much taller than everyone else on the court.
Chargers work it inside, and that one rolls off. No good, but on the offensive board, Aurora Deshays puts it back up and in.
Deshays just using her height there, dominating on the glass on both ends.
Dolphins in an early 7-0 hole. This is Masinge. Marvello in the corner, uses the Masinge screen. Back up top to LaFaro. She drives down the middle. There's that floater she loves. Can't connect, and on the offensive board, Alarcon threw up a wild shot. Here come the Chargers. Another three-pointer. This time it's Van Cleef. That one short. Rebounded by LaFaro. And LaFaro is stripped from behind. Cameron DeBose closing in and knocking the ball away from LaFaro. Another Dolphins turnover.
Nice job there by DeBose to hustle back and poke that ball away.
Dolphins giving the Chargers some space on the outside as they try and open the game in a zone defense right now. The University of New Haven not having any issues.
Looks like, Joe, at least early here, New Haven likes to shoot from mid-range and beyond. Not much of the top ball being taken to the hoop other than when Deshays got the ball down there in the post.
One of the stats that stood out for me in the first two games for New Haven was their lack of outside shot attempts. It's right there, Alarcon with the rejection. And here comes LaFaro back the other way. Dolphins getting set into their half-court offense. Did not look to push. LaFaro will try the three. That one off the back rim. And we have a foul as Lambert went after the rebound.
We'll take a look here at that last rejection, Joe. Good defense stuff. And comes up with the block herself for Alarcon.
Alarcon shut down the Chargers' leading scorer, Cameron DeBose, in that last attempt in the paint. But CSI, over 3 minutes in, has not scored, and there's an unforced turnover by New Haven.
Joe, that ball went about 7 or 8 rows deep in the stands here. Fortunately, no one sitting in that area. No injuries to report on that one.
Player got fingertips on it as well for the Chargers. Marvello uses the Alarcon screen, nearly lost the ball, and she dives back on top of it. Jump ball is the call, and possession will stay with the Dolphins.
Joe, curious here if the Dolphins look to get Lambert involved from three-point range for some instant offense. She was very impressive over the weekend with three-point shooting from the corner.
Joined us after the first half in CSI's last game, as there's some good ball movement by the Dolphins, but swarming defense from the Chargers. Shut it down initially, but Alarcon with a nice move, and she finishes the scoop layup.
Dolphins finally on the board, Joe.
The Fanatics making noise behind the CSI bench at this end of the floor. Chargers work it inside, and committing the foul was Alarcon on that attempt by Aurora Deshays.
We'll take a look at the Dolphins' first points of the game here, Joe.
Alarcon did a nice job working her way out of some traffic, finishing the scoop. Not an easy shot, but going back to your point, Nick, with the Chargers shooting a lot from the outside early. In their first game of the season, they scored 32 points in the paint. Now, taking a look here, their box score on their stats is actually wrong. According to their schedule, they won their first game 63-37. But if you take a look at the box score, the logos are reversed, so that's an error.
Interesting.
But nonetheless, the Chargers scoring 32 of 63 points in the paint during their first game. In their second game, they scored 40 of their 76 points in the paint. Here comes LaFaro. Tough shot inside. She can't finish. It was a 2-for-2 trip to the line for Aurora Deshays the last time down for New Haven. And there's Cameron DeBose, who tries the three. It's no good. Rebounded by Alarcon.
See if the Dolphins get the bench going. And as I said, it looks like Gia Esposito.
Nice open look for Ashley Lambert, who finds nothing but net.
Lambert, nice shot there. I mentioned a few minutes ago, maybe getting her involved from the corner. Very comfortable out there with the corner shots.
Down goes LaFaro. This is Deshays back to the basket, and Alarcon poked it away. Not a bad start defensively for the Dolphins after the Chargers scored 7 quick points. That's Masingwe, tough shot, and she rattles it in.
Wow, Joe, just impressive there. We'll get a look at that, and I mean, it is just incredible how she's able to maintain the ball control there and lay it up and in, as you can take a look right now at that replay.
An impressive move by Noemi Masingwe as she moved straight into a double team on the way to the rim, was able to finish in traffic, and Ashley Lambert continues to shoot the ball well. We mentioned her prowess in CSI's last game against Holy Family. In that game, Lambert hit a couple of three-pointers, was 2 of 5 from beyond the arc, 4 of 10 from the field. In 23 minutes, she had 10 points. That was actually the Dolphins' first game. In the second game of the season against Holy Family, Lambert was 3 of 7 from beyond the arc, 3 of 8 from the field with 13. So 2 double-digit efforts from Lambert to open up the season. And if you're the Dolphins coaching staff, you have to like seeing that.
Yeah, Lambert has been a great burst of energy here for the Dolphins, and excited to see her throughout her career here for the Lady Dolphins. Her corner shooting has been impeccable. It's almost rare that she's going to miss a shot there. And the Dolphins here make a bit of a change here as Gia Esposito comes on in this one, and I believe Christina Arvello to the bench. We've seen this quite often, Joe, around the 5-minute mark in all the games so far. Esposito has come on.
Esposito certainly the 6th woman off the bench for Staten Island. That has been the case through each of the first 3 games, and definitely warranted her coach's confidence in her with 25 points off the bench in the Dolphins opener. There's a 3-pointer attempted by Pergola. It is no good, and the Dolphins once again come up with a stop. It will be CSI basketball.
The Fanatics loving that, Joe.
Foul number 34 of the visiting team, Aurora Deshays. That's her first team foul.
Aurora Deshays called for the foul as the 2 teams pursued the rebound. This is Esposito at center court, and that one nearly knocked right into my lap, Nick.
Well, would have been better with your lap than your laptop, Joe, but the ball avoided the table.
Dolphins will inbound. This is Masingwe. She gives it up to LaFaro. Now Lambert, who is double teamed. LaFaro left wide open, feeds it inside to Alarcon. Kick it to the corner. Esposito for 3.
Mamma mia, it's Gia with the 3 from the corner.
Esposito immediately making her presence felt off of the Dolphins bench. Chargers have seen the Dolphins go on a 9-2 run here, and unable to break the run was Pergola. Rebound to Lambert and CSI. Here come the Dolphins. A chance to pick up their first lead. LaFaro left wide open for 3. That one's halfway down and out, but Alarcon grabs the rebound. She is down to the floor, but it will remain Dolphins basketball.
Good hustle there to get the rebound. Take a look here at Gia Esposito's first basket of the game. Nice 3-pointer from the corner.
Esposito quickly 1 for 1. This is Alarcon off the inbound. Esposito uses the Alarcon screen, now drives to her left, nearly lost her footing. This is Masingwe in the corner. That shot a bit too long. And the rebound knocked away by Alarcon. She comes away with possession. A fresh 30 seconds for the Dolphins on the shot clock as LaFaro's 3 is no good. And LaFaro is called for a tough foul from behind. Not much contact there.
Head coach Nicole Sarcone, no longer with the crutches on the scooter today, not happy with that call, and she's expressing her displeasure to the referee.
There wasn't much there, Nick. I'm not sure about that call either. Chargers basketball, score even at 9, 3 minutes to play in the first, and there is nobody home on that pass.
Joe, 9-9 game here. Dolphins with the chance here to take their first lead of the evening.
That turnover for the University of New Haven, their third. CSI with a pair of turnovers as Kaya Johnson will check in for CSI. Johnson got the start in each of CSI's first 2 games, coming off the bench tonight. This is Esposito. And she tried to hand off to LaFaro. Good defensive play there by Cameron DeBose as LaFaro fell on top of the ball while along the sideline. It will be Chargers basketball.
Nice job there by LaFaro, though, to prevent an easy fast break score from the Chargers.
This is Chambers, left wing. Uses the screen from Van Cleef. Now Pergola, and down goes LaFaro. Offensive foul on the screen by Aurora Deshays, and that will be her second.
LaFaro with an impressive heads-up play there.
Chance of you can't do that from the Fanatics. As Deshays will be forced to head to the bench. Bianca Pendleton will check into the game. This is LaFaro, defended by DeBose. This is Alarcon, inside to Johnson, and that pass too high for Johnson. All our score as we approach 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Chargers possessed a 7-0 lead early in the game. Since then, a 9-2 Staten Island run. This is DeBose back up top to Pergola. Back to DeBose in the corner. Pergola again. And that pass inside for Pendleton, nowhere close.
No shot there for Pendleton to catch that pass.
For your CSI Dolphins, number 15, Christina Arvello.
Christina Arvello back into the game for CSI. Elizabeth LaFaro takes a seat. It has been over 2 minutes since the last basket as Esposito can't finish the finger roll. Last field goal made at the 4:17 mark and make it the 1 minute and 40-second mark where the drought is broken. Strong take to the rim by Bianca Chambers.
Chambers going coast to coast there with little hesitation and lays it up and in.
Arvello, open three-pointer, no good. Arvello has struggled shooting so far through the Dolphins' first 9 quarters. This is Chambers, now in the corner. That was Van Cleef as the pass is stolen by the Dolphins. Here comes Kaya Johnson. And that one is wedged between the rim and the backboard.
Joe, you don't see that every day. First, we'll take a look at that Chambers coast-to-coast drive there for the Chargers.
Nice move there by Chambers, finally bringing an end to that scoring drought. Substitution for the Chargers. It will be Azura Riley entering the game. That was DeBose on the drive. She grabs her own rebound, kicks out to a wide open shooter, and with her first attempt of the game, was Dali Acasio connecting from three-point range.
Acasio making it look easy right off the bench.
Acasio and Riley off of the Chargers bench at that last horn.
Joe, we'll take a look at that rarity from a moment ago where the ball got stuck in between the rim and the backboard.
Never know what you're going to see here on Sportsnet. Now, of course, streaming live via the ECC network. Here comes Esposito on the drive. Floater just a bit off. Rebound goes to the Chargers. Pushing it up the floor is Pergola. That is Pendleton with the mid-range shot. No good. Rebounded by Alarcon. Have the last shot of the quarter if they want it. This is Kaya Johnson. Mid-range pull-up is good.
Nice job there by Johnson to stop, pop, and lock it and drop it in there.
4 seconds to shoot for the Chargers, and forced to put up the three was Riley. It is rejected by Esposito, and that is how the first quarter will come to a close. The Chargers lead the Dolphins by a score of 14-11 after one when Nick and I come back. The call of the second quarter here on the ECC Network.
Hi, may I please have an application? Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
Okay.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
As an American, it's hard to hear that we have a serious hunger issue in our country. And as a parent, it's even harder to hear that 1 in 5 of our kids struggles with hunger, especially when billions of pounds of good food are wasted every year. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide billions of meals to families in need right in your community. Visit feedingamerica.org to support Feeding America in your local food bank. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Thank you. You got a key?
Go fish!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given.
And we're back from the tank. Dolphins trail by 3 at the start of the second quarter. CSI trailed 7-0 in this game and eventually went on a 9-2 run that evened up the score. CSI commits a turnover on their first possession of quarter number 2, and the Chargers nearly commit a turnover of their own. And blowing the layup there was DeBose. Follow on the inside by Van Cleef, no good, and traveling is the call.
Travels are back. We've seen a lot of travels here this season so far. But, Joe, it's really been a game of runs so far. Chargers come out of a run. Dolphins get a run of their own to tie it up. Chargers a run to take the lead.
Following those last 2 attempts, the team shooting a combined 10 of 35. The Chargers 5 of 17, the Dolphins 5 of 18. That's Lambert for 3. It rolls off the rim, no good. Offensive rebound by Arvello, and she forces one in traffic. Arvello had 4 Chargers around her on that shot attempt. Nice move there on the drive by DeBose. Once again, she can't finish, but off of the offensive rebound, she's able to put it in off glass.
DeBose just muscling up there with the rebound, leans into it. Easy for her to lay it up in and off the glass.
This is Lambert on the drive. Kick out to Johnson. She likes that mid-range shot, and she has been on the money from that range so far this year.
Johnson, a big fan of the mid-range shot. If they're going to give it to her, she's going to take it.
We saw Johnson hit a huge mid-range shot from the baseline against Wilmington, and the Dolphins win to open up the season. That's Pergola, air ball, and the offensive rebound goes straight into the hands of Riley for the putback.
Joe, does she get an assist on that? Could have potentially been a pass. Didn't hit the rim.
I doubt that, Nick, but that is at the discretion of our statistician Sal Caruso, as Esposito tries another 3, and Esposito is 2 for 2 from beyond the arc early.
G is staying hot. Another shot from beyond the arc, and it's good.
Esposito, 6 quick points off of the Staten Island bench. This is DeBose on the drive. She throws a wild shot up in traffic. That is no good, and the Dolphins are whistled for a foul.
Dolphins not happy about that, but we'll take a look here at Gia Esposito's straight-on three-pointer off one dribble.
Elizabeth LaFaro will come off of the CSI bench. And for Cameron DeBose, she now has 3 rebounds. All of those are of the offensive variety, and immediately off the inbound, Brianna Van Cleef lays it up and in.
Well, Joe, you did mention earlier that the Chargers are not a team that usually shoots a lot from long range. And right now, we're seeing a lot of their shots coming from within the paint, and they're capitalizing.
That's an offensive foul committed by the Dolphins. Elizabeth LaFaro whistled for the charge. Rebounds right now, 18-11 in favor of the University of New Haven. 7-4 on the offensive glass. The Chargers' lead is 4. They have possession as we approach 7 minutes to go in the first half. On the drive is Ocasio. She handed it off to Pergola, who is stripped. Here comes Alarcon over to Esposito. Nice short turnaround jumper, but that's an air ball. Offensive rebound to Alarcon, who lays it up and in.
Nice job there by Alarcon to get the rebound laid up and in. Joe, that play was made by the great defense of the 2-3 zone there, collapsing on the ball carrier in the paint, able to force a turnover, take it the other way, and score.
Early on in this game, the Chargers were shooting the Dolphins out of the zone, and that will certainly help that cause as Cameron DeBose knocks down a left wing three. But, Nick, as you said, the Dolphins zone really doing a good job slowing down the interior offense of the Chargers. But when it comes to the outside shooting, the University of New Haven has had several open looks.
Yeah, that's the thing with the zone.
Comes LaFaro, and she draws the blocking foul and will head to the line for 2.
Dolphins headed to the line here for the first time. And we'll see if they're able to get within 3 points in this game.
Number 23 was Dalia Ocasio. That'll be her second personal foul.
Gabrielle Stickle will enter the game for the University of New Haven. Ocasio heads to the bench. Only 2 free throws attempted in the game between the two teams, both belonging to New Haven. They were both good, and LaFaro hits her first of 2.
Lucky bounce there for LaFaro.
Some would call it shooter's touch. And that free throw rattles out. Rebound to Riley. This is Stickle who will run the point off of the New Haven bench. She wears number 1. Chargers work it around the outside, and good hands there by Esposito. She throws one up ahead to Johnson, and that is not a good pass.
Well, good pick there by Esposito to intercept that pass from close range, but got a little too excited there and overthrew her pass to Johnson.
You have to love the active hands. Perhaps that pass a bit forced as the Dolphins had numbers. Van Cleef may have gotten away with a travel, but the shot is no good. Rebound to the Dolphins. This is Kaya Johnson calling for the screen from Alarcon. Johnson hands off to Esposito. Esposito trying to create some space. Has Johnson again. Screen by Masinge. Kick out to Esposito. Pull-up jump shot from in close by Esposito is no good. Rebound in traffic by Alarcon, who somehow gets the follow-up shot to go.
Unbelievable job there by Alarcon to follow through with that ball on the rebound and put it up and in. And we'll take a quick look here at the replay of that as the free throw is about to be shot.
What a finish by Alarcon. Big time rebound in traffic as well. Dolphins now trail by just 1. 5:20 to go in the second quarter. Good back and forth game so far between these two teams. Stickle, bounce pass to DeBose, and she dribbles into a double team and is fouled. Dolphins bench can't believe the foul call. It will go against Kaya Johnson. That will be her first.
Dolphins now with 3 fouls this quarter. As a reminder, 5 fouls in women's basketball would put you in the penalty per quarter.
5:09 to play in quarter number 2. Chargers looking for somewhere to go with it on the inbound, and it's a Stickle. Corner three-pointer, way too long. And Esposito got bodied off of that rebound inside. DeBose left wide open, and she makes the Dolphins pay yet again.
DeBose is doing a great job right now of capitalizing on the open looks.
Shot inside is no good. Here come the Chargers. Stickle to the corner for Pergola. Does not hesitate, and she knocks down the three.
Joe might want to consider here perhaps changing up the zone a little bit. Might want to go with a 3-2 or a 2-1-2 to get some more pressure on those outside shooters right now because they're knocking everything down for the Chargers.
Pergola and DeBose each 2 of 4 from beyond the arc. The Chargers 5 of 12 from long range as a team. And we have another offensive foul. I think this one occurred away from the ball down low. As we will have a media timeout. So Nick and I will head to break. The Dolphins have seen their deficit balloon to 7 points after they trimmed it down to 1. A 6-0 Chargers run heading into the break.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
And we're back from the College of Staten Island. Dolphins trailing by 7 with 4 minutes to go in the second quarter. Chargers have the ball in the midst of a 6-0 scoring run. This is DeBose, nearly lost it. Hand off to Stickle. 13 to shoot for New Haven. Stickle into the corner for DeBose, and the Dolphins look like they're playing a bit of a looser zone defense, but DeBose drives straight to the hoop uncontested and lays it in.
Yeah, Joe, you mentioned a looser zone defense, and the offense there was very elusive, going right through the zone easily, getting to the hoop and laying it up and in.
Well, I'm not sure the Dolphins were strictly in a zone as Lizzie LaFaro knocks down the three.
Number 14, Elizabeth LaFaro.
Lizzie with a great job there to knock down that three-pointer.
Dolphins back to within 6. Pergola picks up her dribble, kicks out to DeBose. DeBose jab step, drives to her left, and the Dolphins defense just parted. But on the offensive board, Azura Riley is whistled for the foul.
Dolphins getting lucky there because right now it looks like the zone is just getting shredded when it comes to Chargers driving to the hoop.
What I meant by a looser zone is that it appeared the Dolphins were following the shooters deeper into three-point range, but right there on the drive, the CSI defense parted and left the lane wide open as Jenalise Alarcon continues her strong half.
Nice job there by Alarcon. She's now in, well, she's almost at double digits, 9 points.
Alarcon with 9. She has had herself a great half, and we have another whistle, and possession will head back the other way on the travel. Dolphins within 4. Alarcon 4 of 5 from the field, 6 rebounds, and 9 points. And traveling is the call against Alarcon as Esposito was denied a wide open look from 3.
Well, Joe, I think the sisterhood of the traveling pants is back. Right there, Lizzie LaFaro was calling for the ball. She was open, and she wanted the ball in her hands there to shoot it.
Several Dolphins open beyond the arc on that last possession. As that one is kicked into the corner, Riley Way off on the three. Another air ball. Here comes Esposito. Esposito will use the Alarcon screen. Sends it over to Johnson. Feeding to the corner for Masinge. Masinge will use an Alarcon screen. Tries to spin. Is denied. This is Johnson. 10 to shoot. Johnson, nice move on the drive, and she draws contact. Johnson will head to the line for 2.
Important free throws here for Johnson and the Dolphins. A good job by Johnson to draw the foul. They could knock both of these down here. Get within 2. In a good spot here to close out the half.
These free throw attempts for the Dolphins will be free throw attempts 4 and 5 from the line, and Johnson's first shot is no good. Second free throw from Johnson on its way, and that's a 1-for-2 trip to the line.
Closing the deficit to 3 with a minute and a half left here in the first half.
Dolphins as a team, 68% from the line this season. That's Pergola feeding it inside to Riley, and she is rejected from behind by Masinge.
No, not today. Nice job there on the block by Masinge.
Noemia Masinge with the rejection. As Nick said, no on the block, and at the other end, we have a foul whistled against Brianna Van Cleef, and that will send Lizzie LaFaro to the free throw line.
LaFaro back to the charity stride again here. Had the first free throw attempts of the game for the Dolphins. Looking to close the deficit to 1.
12, Brianna Van Cleef. It's going to be your first personal foul. 15th foul.
That foul puts the Dolphins in the bonus with 1 minute to go in the first half, and LaFaro makes good on the first attempt from the stripe. Second free throw by LaFaro is perfect. Dolphins back to within 1. CSI has never led in this game. Chance of defense from the Fanatics as that one is knocked out of bounds. Good effort there. Chasing that ball to the floor by the Dolphins, and it will be CSI basketball.
Listen, the Fanatics here, they want a defense, and the Dolphins players listen. Great defense there to force turnover.
This is LaFaro, nearly lost the ball. LaFaro drives, kick to an open Masinge. She takes it inside and is blocked, but Alarcon is fouled from a position where she had no chance of putting that ball in the basket. And with the Dolphins in the bonus, Alarcon will head to the line for 2.
Interesting that Alarcon even attempted to shoot that backwards. I figured she was going to try to take it out
First personal foul.
and move it around, but it worked out here, and the Dolphins have a shot, Joe, to take their first lead of the game.
Alarcon clearly didn't know where she was when she grabbed that rebound, instinctively went up to shoot it. As Genelise is now in double figures with 10 points, but what a half for Alarcon, both scoring the ball and rebounding the ball.
And we'll see if we get to speak with her at halftime.
I'd say that is a very good possibility, as Alarcon now has 11 points to go along with 7 rebounds. Also a pair of blocks. Dolphins with their first lead, 32-31. Final 30 seconds of the second quarter. This is Riley. Kick out to DeBose. She thought about a 3. Now takes the step back 3 in the corner, and that is rebounded by Chambers. She can't finish the hook shot, and that is off the fingertips of Riley. It will be Dolphins basketball with the last shot of the half.
And we are going to sub here for the Chargers, but the Dolphins here, Joe, 17.3 seconds left. And back to the free throw line with the clock stopped and be able to make the lead more here.
Well, I missed the foul call, Nick. I was not aware there was a foul called underneath. So
we both missed it.
Ashley Lambert heads to the free throw line and hits the first of 2. Silence falls over the tank. And Lambert is 2 of 2 from the line.
I think, Joe, the last 6 points for the Dolphins may have come at the free throw line.
Dolphins now 9 of 11 from the line, and Nick, I think you might be right about that. 10 seconds left in the half. And that one is kicked by the Dolphins, so the Chargers will inbound with 7.6 on the clock. Chargers inbound from the baseline. This is DeBose, left wing three for the tie. It's no good. And off the offensive board, Chambers still has time. Pull-up jump shot is good. So Chambers able to knock down the buzzer beater. And the Dolphins will take a 1-point lead into the halftime locker room. Our score at the break, 34-33. Dolphins over the Chargers. And Nick, we will wait just a moment and see if someone will be joining us for a halftime interview.
I don't think it looks likely, Joe, but we'll keep it here. But great job there by the Dolphins at the end of the first half to do what isn't exactly easy sometimes, that is make the free throws. They're going to give them to you, take advantage of it, and able to get the lead on the free throws.
Well, you said it, Nick. 6 straight points from the line for the Dolphins to end the half. It was actually 7. So CSI scoring their final 7 points of the first half from the charity stripe. And if you're the Dolphins, you have to love the way you responded to falling behind 7-0 early in the game. They bounced back from an early hole and are able to take a halftime lead into the break. And I am trying to stall for time as we await potentially a coach coming over and joining us for a halftime interview.
Well,
but
hopefully Coach Sarcone scoots over here. But in the meantime, we can take a look at a few replays. You can walk us through what's going on here.
Well, Gia Esposito made a nice move in the mid-range on that particular replay, but it was all Genelise Alicon on the offensive glass for the Dolphins in the first half, and right there you'll get a chance to see Esposito connecting from long range, and the Dolphins getting it done inside and out at the offensive end of the floor in the first half for CSI. They shot 3 of 8 from downtown and 11 of 30 from the field, so not great shooting for the Dolphins. Same goes for the Chargers. They finished the first half 13 of 37 from the floor as the Dolphins coaching staff will head to the halftime locker room. Nick and I will take a break. Our score at the half, the Dolphins 34 and the Chargers 33. More NCAA Division II women's basketball coverage when we come back here on the ECC Network.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
When your car is damaged, where you take it is your decision. But insurance companies would like you to think otherwise. While they may have a lot of pull, it may not always be in the best interest of your car. Your car will be fixed right and on time. What insurance company can argue with that?
Call Dependable Auto Body at 718-447-4898.
Hi, Meals on Wheels. I'm Marco. I'm a college student, and I volunteer as a driver for Meals on Wheels. I think it's awesome meeting these people. I mean, they're so interesting. They've had so many wonderful experiences in life. Your community helps to raise you up into the person that you become. Meals on Wheels is a great way to give back to that community.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials, live music, and the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dine-in order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Welcome back to the house.
Open up the champagne, pop. It's my house, come on, turn it up. Give a knock on the door when the night begins. I've been done as the wars on your home. Make yourself a home to me.
Alvin and the Chipmunks want to remind you, bacteria can hide in food and make you ill.
Wow.
But you can keep bacteria from ruining your day with 4 simple steps. Clean.
I'm waiting for the rinse cycle.
Separate. Cook. And chill.
We chipmunks are notoriously tight.
Check your steps. The road trip to food safety starts at foodsafety.gov.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed ours.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Hart, what's going on? I'm leaving. Why? What did I do? Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit. Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just, please, don't leave. Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Hi. May I please have an application? Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
Okay.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
As an American, it's hard to hear that we have a serious hunger issue in our country. And as a parent, it's even harder to hear that 1 in 5 of our kids struggles with hunger, especially when billions of pounds of good food are wasted every year. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide billions of meals to families in need right in your community. Visit feedingamerica.org to support Feeding America and your local food bank. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at It's On Us.
For the second half, your CSI Dolphins!
Check.
Car is damaged? Where you take it is your decision. But insurance companies would like you to think otherwise. While they may have a lot of pull, it may not always be in the best interest of your car. Your car will be fixed right and on time. What insurance company can argue with that?
Call Dependable Auto Body at 718-447.
Asking if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
Welcome back to the tank as we get set to start the second half between the College of Staten Island and the University of New Haven. We do apologize if there were audio issues during the halftime break. We did appear to have levels registering from our headsets despite having them muted and not yet being back on the air. So hopefully you didn't hear too much from Nick and I during the halftime break. As I was chomping down on a pretzel. Chargers possess it first to open the second half. Contact inside. Away from the shot, which was missed by Brianna Van Cleef.
Yeah, Joe, first half, Cameron DeBose led the way for New Haven with 10 points, but she...
And the Dolphins open the second half with a three-pointer on their first possession.
Lambert with another long-range shot, this time a three-pointer. As I was saying, though, DeBose, she likes to shoot it. She had 10 misses, so 4 for 14 from the field, 2 from 6 from three-point range for 10 points total. And for the Dolphins, Jennalise Alarcon led the way with 13 points.
This is Lizzie LaFaro off the steal, can't finish with the left. And the rebound goes to Pergola. This is Van Cleef in the corner. Kick out to Chambers. Now they work it up top to Pergola once again. Chargers moving the ball around quickly, and Aurora Deshays lays it in off the feed from Bianca Chambers. Great ball movement by the Chargers.
Yeah, Joe, and it looks like Alarcon already has a double-double. According to our printout here, 11 points and 13 rebounds. So what a first half that was for her.
That one's stolen on the inside, and offensive foul is the call. And during the halftime break, or I should say ahead of the halftime break, I took a look at the stats, and it was 7 defensive rebounds for Alarcon. So you're right, Nick. She had a double-double at the break. That was my error.
6 offensive rebounds. Incredible.
What a first half for Jennalise Alarcon, as that three-pointer by Lambert is no good. And foul called against the Dolphins. I believe that was against Arvelo. It is. It was her second. Pergola brings it up for the Chargers. Ball once again with Pergola. Now up top with Van Cleef. Back to Pergola. Open three. Left wing is good. And the Chargers are back in front.
Pergola with ice water in her lanes there, shooting that open shot, and it's good.
And Brianna Van Cleef went down to the floor after that last made basket. I think that prompted a timeout from the Chargers bench, or at least I thought timeout was the signal, but
I think the referee just stopped it to sub out the injured player.
So they allowed a substitution as the Dolphins quickly turn it over, and Lambert intentionally kicked the ball. A late whistle, but the right call.
She almost thought she was going to get away with that, but a good foots-up play. Maybe she learned that from the soccer team there to stop the easy pass into the lane.
That was a smart play by Lambert, who was not going to be able to stop that 2-on-1 and wisely got a foot on the ball. And if there's ever a time to intentionally kick the basketball, I think that was it right there, Nick.
Certainly, and you know, we did see on Halloween all the student athletes participate in a kickball game. So perhaps Lambert worked on her kicking skills in that game on Halloween.
Substitution for the Chargers. Now Regona Basilio checks into the game.
Referees huddling up here.
Basilio replaced Van Cleef, who went down. Pergola to inbound, and she throws it into DeBose, and she can't finish. Rebounded by Alarcon. That is board number 14 for the Dolphins freshman. CSI trails by 1. This is Masinge taking it in from the corner, and she is called for traveling following the pump fake.
Well, Joe, another travel here, stopping the Dolphins' possession. Chargers ahead by 1, 38-37 here early in the second half.
Nothing is as effective as deflating this home crowd as a travel. We've seen many of those over the last few days. This is DeBose inside. We have a whistle prior to the shot. Foul was charged to Noemia Masinghe, her second, and the team's second. Pergola inbounds up top to DeBose. Now in the corner, here comes Chambers on the drive. Pull up from the baseline, rolls in. Chambers now has 6. Johnson used the Alarcon screen, finds an open Lambert. That one off the back rim, and Masinghe able to chase it down in front of the Dolphins bench. Johnson mid-range pull-up, no.
Johnson looking to take that shot. She does like that mid-range, but off the mark on that one.
Johnson has shot it well from the mid-range so far this year. Came up empty on that last trip. That's Pergola. No good. Rebounded by Alarcon. Here comes Johnson on the drive. Handoff to LaFaro. LaFaro uses the Alarcon screen and works it back over to Alarcon. This is Lambert. Out to LaFaro. LaFaro for 3, and that's an air ball.
Off the mark there by Lizzie. Air ball it is, and the Dolphins still looking to score here in the second half.
6 minutes on the clock in the third quarter. Pergola right back inside, and another kick out. Wide open for 3 is Basilio. That one, another air ball, as we've seen several of those already, and that wakes up the Fanatics.
Yes, and they were woken up earlier in the half a little bit when Lambert hit the 3, the only points in this half for the Dolphins here. So it looks like the Dolphins are in a bit of a scoring drought once again. We saw them in their last game on Sunday struggle in the third quarter.
Dolphins' last basket came 32 seconds into this third quarter. That was nearly 4 full minutes ago, as a timeout comes from the Dolphins bench. And we will wait to see if it is a full timeout or a 30-second timeout. It will be a 30-second timeout. So we will stay right here through this timeout break. But Nick, Dolphins coming out a bit flat at the offensive end to start this third quarter. What has changed from the end of the first half when CSI was shooting the ball very well?
Well, the big difference, Joe, is really that when they came into this half, they were playing with the lead, which is something they haven't done all game. So perhaps that kind of changed their mindset, where they were being very aggressive, especially defensively, to close out the first half. Here, the shots just are not falling so far. But I believe that they should just stick with the same strategy, Joe, and ultimately, you would hope some of these shots start failing, but again, we don't want to see a long scoring drought here like we saw to close out the game Sunday.
Another number that stood out on the first half stat sheet was something you mentioned, the Dolphins scoring their last 7 points of the half from the free throw line, and Dolphins have not been back to the line in this third quarter, so CSI not getting those points from the charity stripe, that's hurt them, as their lead was built upon those points late in the first half. Many of those fouls were drawn off of offensive rebounds as well. So CSI not necessarily attacking the glass the way they did at the end of the first half and not getting to the rim as easily as they did in the first half. In this third quarter, the Dolphins so far have committed, as I try and pull up the turnover numbers, and 3 turnovers for CSI through the first 4.5 minutes of quarter number 3. So the Dolphins have to do a better job taking care of the basketball, and they'd love to keep getting back to the free throw line as they did in the first half. Dolphins have it out of the timeout. This is Alarcon back to Esposito. 5 to shoot as Esposito has her pocket picked by Chambers. Here comes Chambers. She can't find anywhere to go with the ball. This is DeBose underneath, flips one up and in.
Wow, what a possession there for the Chargers. The big steal, picking Gia's pocket there, and DeBose able to just not even move and use all arms there to score.
Johnson airballs the mid-range shot, but Lambert grabs the rebound. This is Esposito with a mid-range pull-up of her own, and she knocks it down through the contact and one.
Esposito for two.
Esposito with a nice job there to stay with it through the contact. And now the Dolphins will go to the free throw line for the first time here in the second half.
Dolphins needed that basket badly, as they had gone nearly 5 minutes without a made field goal. But with that last foul, we will have a media timeout. So Nick and I will take a break. When we come back, Gia Esposito heads to the line for CSI with a chance to cut the Chargers' lead to 2 points.
My dad was a soccer coach and bought this little book bag. I could sit in the book bag like facing backwards and with like my legs out. So I'd be in his book bag when my dad coaches and the ball's going around. I'm like kicking at the ball in the back. And my dad was like, "We have a prodigy." So he put me into soccer and it just progressed from there. The catalyst was the opportunity to play soccer at a Division II school. On my team, I thrive to work as hard as I can. I mean, whatever you do on the field, there's a positive correlation to whatever else you do, be it personal relationships, homework, the way you carry yourself. I've changed since I got to King University. It's really helped me to develop as a leader. I think it's honestly the best thing that's ever happened.
We are back from the tank. The Dolphins trail by 3 with just under 5 minutes to play in this third quarter. The Dolphins did take a 1-point lead into the halftime break, but in this third quarter, a 9-5 advantage for the University of New Haven. Dolphins looking to pull back to within 2. Gia Esposito heading to the line after she converted on a mid-range pull-up through contact. 1 free throw upcoming for the Dolphins sophomore. And Esposito's free throw is a bit long, but it rolls in off of the front rim. Dolphins back to within 2.
Dolphins here finally breaking a bit of their drought on that. Great job by Esposito to score with contact.
Pergola left wide open yet again, and she knocks down another 3 for Pergola. That is her 4th three-pointer of the game.
Pergola has always had an answer for the Dolphins offense in this one with their offensive run.
Pergola 4 of 6 from long range, and Jenna-Lise Alarcon once again takes it to the basket and finishes. She will head to the line for 1 more.
Alarcon just dominating in the paint today. Nice move there, able to lay it up and in, going to the free throw line for 1 more.
Alarcon has 13 points. With this free throw, she can tie for the game high in points, and she does, as now both she and Bri Pergola have 14 points for their teams. On the drive, it's Basilio, and she finishes off glass.
Pergola for 2.
Nice job there to lay that in off the glass.
Feed inside to LaFaro from Alarcon. LaFaro grabs her own rebound, and she took a shot. That will be either the 4th or the 15th foul for the Chargers. That's 5, so the Dolphins are in the bonus with just under 4 minutes to play in the third quarter. And I just spoke about it, Nick, how big it is for the Dolphins to get back to the free throw line and to capitalize from there as they did late in the first half. That allowed them to build their lead.
Absolutely. Dolphins have been very solid from the charity stripe here, shooting over 80% in this game.
1 more upcoming for LaFaro. And she goes 2 for 2 from the stripe. Dolphins back to within a pair. 3:50 on the clock in the third quarter.
Dolphins show have only led for less than a minute in this game.
And that one rattles out from Chambers. Rebound goes to Alarcon. Alarcon now has 15 boards, making 16 with that last rebound.
Joe, we have to look at the history books here, see how many she can get She's probably going to get over 20 at this pace.
That's a great point, Nick. Is I know our friend Dave has compiled extensive record books. That will certainly be in there, as Johnson can't finish off glass and is rejected on the second attempt. Chargers still leading by 2. This is Chambers on the drive. She lost the ball. Here comes Johnson. She has Esposito up ahead. Esposito with the pump fake, but she can't finish the layup. On the reverse, the second try is good.
Gia Esposito for
Dolphins
2.
tie it up again here. This is the third time the game is tied.
Well, Nick, I am pulling up the record books right now. We'll take a look in between quarters, as that one is off the front rim from Pergola, but on the offensive board is Brianna Van Cleef, and she puts it back up and in.
Record books, obviously well kept excellently by David Pizzuto, so I'm sure we'll have no issue finding the rebound record in there.
This is Esposito for the lead. Splash! And the Dolphins are back ahead by 1.
Mamma mia, Gia with the 3, and the Dolphins take the lead for the first time since early on in this half.
More active hands from CSI, but active hands on the other side as well for the Chargers, as we have a foul called down on the floor where Esposito and Basilio. Foul is charged to Kaya Johnson of CSI. That's her second. It is the team's third, as we are now inside of 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. Dolphins ahead by 1. Chance of defense from the Fanatics. Pass inside to DeBose. Pergola attempted the baseline drive, but I believe 3 seconds was the call, Nick.
Good call there. We don't see that too often being called. I always appreciate when it is.
Esposito has it. She uses the Alarcon screen. Thought about the 3. Gives it up to LaFaro. LaFaro looking from the corner. Spins baseline. Throws one up. No good. She grabs her own rebound and is fouled on the second shot attempt.
Lizzie going back to the line yet another time here, looking to give the Dolphins perhaps their biggest lead of the evening.
First personal foul, number 15.
Well, I said it before, Nick. The Dolphins found themselves at the free throw line quite a bit in the first half on the heels of an offensive board. And right there, LaFaro grabs the rebound off of her own miss and draws the foul. Though she does miss the first. Chance to put CSI back in front by 2. The second shot from the line is good. This is Ocasio bringing it up for the University of New Haven. Now Pergola, top of the arc. DeBose. DeBose to Basilio. Basilio looks to drive baseline. She's met by a pair of Dolphins. Now DeBose, 10 to shoot. This is Ocasio. Mid-range shot by Pergola, a bit short, rebounded by LaFaro. And Lizzie will pull it back. Pass up ahead to Esposito. Now Alarcon. Alarcon out to Esposito. Left wing 3 is good. Gia Esposito from downtown once again.
Mamma mia, here Gia goes again. My. How can they stop her? They can't right now, Joe. Another 3 for her.
Esposito lighting up the Chargers as that shot inside by Van Cleef is no good. Here comes Lambert. This is Johnson. Esposito. She's perfect from beyond the arc. 4 of 4 as Alarcon goes down in the paint. Foul away from the ball. Chance of you can't do that from the Fanatics. And Jenelise Alarcon is headed back to the line for 2.
It'll be her second personal foul.
Alarcon doing it all right now, drawing the fouls, of course getting the rebounds and scoring as well. 14 points right now.
Tank has filled out quite nicely since the start of this game. The Fanatics fan section behind the Dolphins bench is packed. Unfortunately, you can't see it on camera from the front anyway, as The second free throw from Alarcon is good. She goes 1 of 2 from the line. Last shot belongs to the Chargers if they want it. This is DeBose. Now Basilio. Back up top to Ocasio. Feed into the middle for DeBose. She throws up a wild shot, and she converts through the contact. Another and one.
Nice job there, staying with it through the contact. And we'll go to the line here to close the gap to 3.
Second personal foul.
The Chargers really needed that one, and they come up with a big basket from their leading scorer, Cameron DeBose. The free throw is no good off the back rim. Alarcon comes away with another board, and we do promise to check those record books in between quarters. This is Esposito looking to make it 5 for 5 from 3, no good. And Alarcon threw up a wild shot to bring the quarter to a close. But Nick, that's another rebound for Alarcon. Yes. So with that, she now has 18 rebounds in the game, and we may have to wait a moment and see if that was 19. Looks like 18 is the number for Alarcon after 3. So before we take a break, let's take a look at the record books and get some single game records. Those would be on page 13 and 14 of our record book, so we'll have to scroll down a bit. While I scroll, we'll take a quick 30-second commercial break. When Nick and I come back, we will fill you in on how close Jenalise Alarcon is to history as her team takes a 4-point lead into the fourth quarter.
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor.
It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
Respect. It's the name of the game.
And we are back from the tank, and as promised, Nick and I have dug into the record books provided courtesy of our good friend David Pizzuto, who has been upkeeping these record books for many years. And the rebounding record for the College of Staten Island in a single game is 30 by Jacqueline Rock. That was achieved on January 12th of 2005. So Rock with 30 rebounds. April Owen also had a 28 rebound game in February of 1992. So 30 and 28, the two top rebounding performances in the history of CSI Dolphins women's basketball. Right now, Jenalise Alarcon entering the fourth quarter with 18 rebounds. So we'll certainly be keeping track of the rebounding numbers for Alarcon the rest of the way. That's Kaya Johnson. Her mid-range shot from the corner is good.
Number 4, Kaya Johnson for 2.
Loving that mid-range shot all evening here. Knocks another one down.
More chance of defense from the Fanatics. That's Pergola on the pull-up, and she silences the crowd with that make.
Pergola, Joe, has all the answers today. Yet another time where the Dolphins score, and she comes back with a score for on 15 points here for Pergola.
Pergola hasn't come off the floor. That's Esposito for 3, and she's now missed her last 2 from downtown.
We'll see if the Chargers here get Deshays more involved. Early on, she was dominating in the paint. Hasn't gotten the ball much since then. Only that one made field goal.
She was forced out of the game by foul trouble. This is Chambers on the pull-up. Line drive shot. Rebounded by Van Cleef. Not once, but twice. Make it 3 times. And Van Cleef is fouled.
Alarcon's going to need a possession like that to hit the history books here. But nice job there, of course, by the Chargers' Van Cleef. And she will head to the free throw.
Well, I have to see if they gave Alarcon a rebound to wrap up the third quarter. I suspect they might not have, as the first free throw by Van Cleef is no good. And they did give her the rebound, so good job by Louis Matrone and Sal Caruso on stats. Alarcon with 18 boards. And Van Cleef goes 0 of 2 from the line, but she steals that board away from Alarcon. Can't finish the turnaround, but Deshays is there on the putback.
Van Cleef with 4 rebounds in about 10 seconds, and then I just mentioned Deshays getting more involved. She gets the rebound there, lays it in.
This is Masinge. May have had a toe on the line, but that point is moot. as called for the offensive foul was Gia Esposito. And Nick, I just took a look at the minutes played in this game. Cameron DeBose and Bree Pergola have not come off the floor for the Chargers in this one. They have played the full 31 minutes to this point.
Well, the Chargers are going with a great strategy here, as Deborah Buff is saying, you know what? I got to play my best players the whole game, and if they can handle it with the stamina, then I'm going to keep them in there.
It seems Pergola has only gotten better as the game's gone on. This is Chambers. Chambers tries the mid-range shot. Another line drive attempt that is way short. Rebound to Alarcon. That's 19. This is Kaya Johnson with it.
It's worth noting that Pergola is a graduate player and DeBose is a senior, so she's relying on her senior leadership here.
That's Alarcon short on the three-pointer. Fighting for the rebound is Masinge. Jump ball is the call, and we are headed back the other way. Lizzie LaFaro checking back in, replacing Ashley Lambert.
Chargers here looking to tie it up once again.
They've had more than one chance to tie the game and will get yet another. Dolphins still in that 2-3 zone defense. This is DeBose. To the corner for Van Cleef. Back up to DeBose, 15 to shoot. Chambers. Across the court to DeBose. Right wing three, short. Rebound by Kaya Johnson.
DeBose has taken a lot of shots in this game, Joe, which is the reason why her point total is high, but she's missed a lot as well.
And Johnson's mid-range shot is short. That might have been partially blocked, but either way, an air ball for Johnson. Chargers with another chance to get even or take the lead. Van Cleef up top to Pergola. Wide open three, in and out. Rebound will go to the Dolphins following a jumped ball call. So jump ball is the call. Alarcon getting tied up with Chambers. CSI will inbound. You mentioned DeBose taking a lot of shots. She is now 6 of 18 from the floor. This is Johnson. Back to Arvello. She will try the three. That one no good. And DeBose has the rebound. That one nearly stolen by the Dolphins. Pergola had to chase it down. Here comes Chambers. Chambers to Pergola. She thought about the three. Van Cleef looks to drive, and her kick out is denied by Kaya Johnson.
Nice job there by Johnson to deny that pass and come out with the steal.
Timeout is called by the Dolphins, and it will be a 30-second timeout. So Nick and I will stay right here. And in this fourth quarter so far, only 6 points scored. 4 by the Chargers, 2 by the Dolphins. The teams have shot a combined 3 of 14. But for the Chargers, they have 5 offensive rebounds, have attempted 4 more shots than CSI. The Dolphins are fortunate to still be in front by 2.
Certainly, Joe. They got to the free throw line a bit before, which has helped them stay ahead, the Dolphins here, but they could be further ahead, not knocking out all their free throws. Shots were falling a bit early, cooled off a bit here later on. Esposito had that back-to-back threes there earlier on. And the Dolphins here looking to maintain the lead here in the last 6 minutes and 34 seconds. Joe, what should their strategy be defensively here moving forward?
Well, taking a look at the stats from this game, right now, the Chargers are shooting 7 of 22 from beyond the arc. Most of those makes belong to Bree Pergola. I think if you're the Dolphins, perhaps you may have to live with the other shooters out on the floor attempting shots from long range and close out more aggressively on Pergola, because right now the Chargers have 24 points in the paint. That's just short of about half of their offense. CSI only 12 points inside. So if you're the Dolphins, I think right now the strategy is to force a player other than Pergola to beat you from the outside. Collapse as they have been on the drives, and if Pergola is open beyond the arc, be sure you close out. Perhaps you don't close out as aggressively against the other shooters. This is Arvello dribbling to her right for CSI. She finds Masinge in the corner. That one rolls off the rim, no good.
Open look there. Masinge takes the shot. Unfortunately, it does not fall.
Dolphins' last made basket came right at the start of the quarter. They have not scored since the 9:52 mark. As CSI came away with another steal. Johnson dribbled it off of her foot, and it's a fresh 30-second shot clock for the Chargers. And Deshays is stripped, has to kick out. Van Cleef over to Chambers, back out to Van Cleef. Up top to DeBose. Her open three-pointer, no good. And Chambers chases it down in the corner. She's double-teamed, and Masinge steals the ball away from Chambers. Here comes Johnson on the break. She's up there all alone, and she is fouled on the shot attempt.
Johnson going to the free throw line here. Unable to convert on the shot. By the shot here for 2 points from the line.
First team foul.
Going back to that last possession for the University of New Haven, DeBose was left wide open up top, and she couldn't make the Dolphins pay on that three-pointer. Johnson's first free throw is good, as it is always a bit awkward calling the action in an eerily silent tank as the gym quiets down once again. One more for Johnson from the line. Her second free throw is up and good. So the Dolphins back out in front by 4. 5:39 to play in the fourth quarter. Chance of defense once again coming from this crowd. Here comes Pergola on the drive. Kick out to DeBose, and her three off the mark yet again. Chambers with the offensive board. Now Van Cleef will try a three. That shot is off. And we will have an over-the-back foul called against the Chargers. And as I said, Nick, right now, the Chargers, other than Brie Pergola, unable to make the Dolphins pay for leaving them open from three.
Yeah, Joe, I think you can live with DeBose taking those shots. She's missed around 14 or 15 shots today. Just get somebody on Pergola when she's looking to shoot from three-point range, and you should be able to contain the scoring for the most part, and just don't let the Shays get the ball in the paint. Unfortunately for the Dolphins there, throwing that ball out of bounds, and the Chargers now get possession.
Well, the Dolphins guilty of absolutely giving away that possession, as that ball was just thrown straight out of bounds by Arvello over the head of Johnson, who was making a break for the corner. And Cameron DeBose opened the game 2 of 4 from three-point range. She is now 2 of 9, has missed 5 straight. You said it, Nick. She's missed 14 shots. She is now 6 of 20 from the floor. And Brianna Van Cleef is 2 of 10. In the corner with it is Van Cleef. She gets it out to Chambers, 12 to shoot. Pergola steps back, tries the three. That one's short off of the front rim. And you have to wonder, Nick, maybe some tired legs under these shots for the Chargers.
A lot of minutes played here by Pergola and DeBose. Currently playing the whole game.
Alarcon drives, dumps it off to Masinge. Great feed from Alarcon. Masinge couldn't finish. Fight for the ball down on the floor, extends into the corner, and that was last touched by LaFaro.
Good aggressive defense there by LaFaro and Johnson and Masinge. Fortunately, the ball went out of bounds last on the Dolphins, and we're getting the court cleans here, and the court cleaner is getting a huge, huge round of applause by the Fanatics.
Dennis Codicelli of men's soccer out there sweeping the floor, much to the enjoyment of his fellow student athletes seated behind the Dolphins bench. Action resumes with 4:20 to go in the fourth quarter. More chance of defense from the CSI student athlete section. The Fanatics behind the Dolphins bench. That's DeBose on the drive, and she weaves her way through the CSI defense and finishes inside.
Nice job there by DeBose. She's been very good when it comes to being inside the paint for the most part in this game. Let her shoot the three, but you got to get a body on her if she's trying to come to the lane.
And LaFaro was stripped of the ball. She continues to pressure DeBose, but DeBose heads back the other way, takes it straight to the basket, and that one rims out. Rebound by Deshays, and she lays it up and in. We are tied at 59.
Yeah, Joe, you hate to waste the timeout, but might be a good time to call on here soon for the Dolphins. It looks like the Chargers are charging ahead with the momentum at this point in time.
The Dolphins getting out rebounded 14-5 in the quarter. This is Alarcon, wide open three, top of the arc, no good. Rebound to LaFaro, and she is stripped once again. Here comes Chambers. Chambers around the back, nearly lost it. And we have a timeout that is called by the Chargers bench. And this may prompt a media timeout as we are inside of 5 minutes. So with that timeout, Nick and I will step aside and take what will likely be our final break of this one. Our score is tied at 59. Dolphins and Chargers play the final 3 minutes and 11 seconds after this break.
Wayne State Medical School has been my dream medical school since I was 5. Athletics are important, but so is service, so is research, so is becoming a better person. And we expect you to do well athletically, but don't forget the reason you're here, which is to give back to your community and to get good grades. It was my sophomore indoor season. It was the first year with our new head coach. And he comes in and he's like, we could be a national contending team if you guys work hard. And I heard him and I was like, well, I want to be a national champion. I want to be an All-American. And I bought in because he bought into our team. And I qualified to go to indoor nationals. I decided I wanted it, so I went and grabbed it.
We are back from the tank. 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Dolphins and Chargers tied at 59 per side. The University of New Haven has the ball, 12 to shoot. This is DeBose up top, uses the screen from Van Cleef, drives toward the rim, is met with contact from LaFaro, and DeBose is headed to the line for 2.
Certainly a foul there, Joe. And DeBose has the opportunity here to give the Chargers back the lead.
14, Elizabeth LaFaro. Her second personal foul. 13 foul.
2 big free throws upcoming for DeBose. The Chargers 0 of 2 from the line in this fourth quarter. And DeBose is now 1 of 2 from the stripe in the game. She now leads New Haven with 17 points. Gia Esposito also has 17 for CSI. DeBose now has 18. Jennalise Alarcon with 15 for the Dolphins, and Bri Pergola with 16 for the Chargers. Dolphins trail by 2, 2:44 to go, and Johnson is rejected, but Masinge chases down the rebound. Here comes Alarcon, spin move, and that one is no good off the back rim, rebounded by Chambers.
Unfortunate there for Alarcon, that ball just would not fall. Nice job there on the spin move. And we're going to have another timeout here for the Chargers.
Another timeout from the New Haven bench. They now have 1 timeout remaining. And for the Dolphins, Nick, they have not registered a made field goal since 8 seconds into this fourth quarter. The Dolphins only have 4 points in the quarter, 2 of those coming from the free throw line. So much like in the Dolphins' last game, CSI once again going through an offensive drought.
Yeah, Joe, it's unfortunate, and I believe we're going to see Ashley Lambert check into the game now, who is one of their better offensive shooters, has some big shots earlier on today, and they'll go from more of the defensive first 5 on the floor to maybe looking to get some offensive here. I get the ball in Lambert's hand in the corner if you can. You know she's going to knock it down.
Lambert is one of the players we highlighted earlier in the broadcast. She scored in double figures during each of the Dolphins' first 2 games. She now has 7 points on 2 of 5 from the field, as Lambert does come in off of the Staten Island bench. Gia Esposito takes a seat. This is Van Cleef. 13 to shoot for the Chargers. Pergola to Chambers. Chambers working out of the corner. Back up top to Pergola. Now Chambers again. 5 to shoot. Chambers kicks out to Pergola. Pass fake. Pergola with 1 to shoot, and she will not get a shot off.
Good job by the zone defense there to force the Chargers into a shot clock violation.
And if you're Deborah Buff, that is certainly not what you wanted to see coming out of a timeout, as the Dolphins have another chance to get even or take the lead. Inside of 2 minutes to play, this is Lambert. Kick out to Alarcon. Alarcon drives into the middle of the lane. Another kick out to Masinge. She tries the drive, and she forced that shot from the baseline as she overran the basket.
Yeah, Joe, right now I don't think the Dolphins should be trying to settle for those shots in traffic in the lane.
DeBose out to Chambers. This is DeBose. Right corner, three, short. And a foul is called against Van Cleef as she battled for the rebound inside.
Foul on number 12, Brianna Van Cleef. It'll be her third personal
Foul
foul.
Van Cleef is her third,
team foul.
also the third team foul. Both sides with 3 team fouls heading into the final 123.
Singay to the bench, Esposito back in.
Defense for offense substitution right there. As Johnson has it, top of the arc, 20 to shoot. Johnson, wide open mid-range pull-up, and that one is good. We are tied once again at 61.
Johnson in the mid-range has been sweet today. Another shot made in the mid-range, Joe. Under a minute left to play, tie game, 61-61.
13 to shoot for the Chargers. This is Van Cleef in the corner. She drives, baseline, shot off glass, no good. Rebound goes to Lambert. Dolphins can go 2 for 1 if they take a shot quickly.
We're going to get a timeout, Joe.
And Nicole Sarcone will call timeout. So if the Dolphins did want a 2 for 1, they have 6.4 to get a shot off. And Nick, that may be an identical amount of time to what we saw left on the clock in the Dolphins' first game when they called a timeout in a very similar situation. That game was tied at 63. The Dolphins took it straight to the basket. Gia Esposito took it into the rim, drew a foul, got to the line, and hit 1 of 2. Do you think the Dolphins look to draw something up for Esposito to drive yet again?
Yeah, Joe, I would think so. Let's see who's inbounding the pass here, but I'm expecting that the ball's going to be inbounded to Johnson at the top of the key, and Esposito will come around moving to take it. We'll see if she drives there or perhaps kicks it out to an open Lambert in the corner.
All right, so Nick says to keep your eye on Lambert in the corner as Kaya Johnson taking the inbounds pass as the music is turned up another notch here at the tank.
Yeah, I absolutely think that the Dolphins here, they're probably drawing up 2 plays. So again, we'll see who inbounds it. They'll probably look to take it to the hoop and draw some contact on the shot. But, like I said, keep an eye on Lambert there, because if that's the case, she might be open in the corner.
Chargers are back out on the floor. Dolphins just breaking huddle. As Nicole Sarcone has some final words for her team. LaFaro will be the inbounder. 36.4 on the clock, 21 to shoot for CSI. Inbound goes to Alarcon, straight back to LaFaro, the inbounder. The Dolphins nearly turn it over, but that was last touched by Van Cleef.
Good job on the inbound there. Fortunate that the ball stayed with the Dolphins. Dolphins cannot turn this over here.
Well, the 2 for 1 opportunity is gone now. And CSI will just look for the best shot they can get. This is Lambert in the corner. Bounce pass to Alarcon. Hook shot in the lane. No good off the back rim. 23 seconds to go. Tied at 61. This is Pergola. The Chargers will call timeout. That is their second to last timeout, according to the scoreboard.
I don't know, Joe. This is the third of the quarter.
We will see.
I think that's in question right now.
It absolutely is. It's going to be a full timeout. Nick and I will stay right here as we are tied at 61. And Nick, for the second time in 3 home games this year, CSI Dolphins women's basketball has put on a show. A thriller coming down to the final moments. What do the Dolphins have to hone in on defensively?
Right now they need to just keep an eye on Pergola, double team her, because she is 100% taking the shot unless she's double teamed. At that point, you pick it to DeBose. You got to be doing all you can to definitely box out the chase here, because if the Chargers shoot it early enough, she's most likely going to get a rebound attempt and will lay it up and in. But Pergola most certainly going to be shooting this one.
Pergola has seen her shooting percentage for the game dip down to 40%. Only 6 of 15 from the floor for Pergola at this point in the game. And I mentioned it before, both she and Cameron DeBose have played the full 40 minutes now, 39 minutes and 44 seconds to be exact, but they will have played the full 40 if they are both on the floor for this final possession, and they will be, as the inbounder will be Brianna Van Cleef. She will throw it in from right in front of the Chargers bench. 14 seconds on the clock, tied at 61. Last shot belongs to New Haven. This is Pergola working against Johnson. This is DeBose, double teamed in the corner. She loses the ball, and the Dolphins will call timeout with 0.9 seconds on the clock. And the Dolphins bench wants the officials to take a look at the clock, and we will see if they head over here, Nick.
Well, Joe, of course I'm ready for it. So if they want to come over, we got it.
All right, we have it, as the officials are going to come over and take a look at when that timeout was called by the Dolphins. Nick, on the controls, and what you see on your screen is exactly what the officials are going to be taking a look at. They may put a few more ticks on the clock. If I had to guess, I would say about maybe a maximum of 2 seconds on the clock for the Dolphins, but that timeout will advance the ball, as we are getting a look side by side with the officials. Dolphins called timeout, looked like about 1.6, so we'll get another look at it in just a moment. Here it is.
Timeout at 1.8. Like 1.8, 1.1.
There is certainly going to be more time put back on the clock. No doubt about it. The only question is how much more time.
Frame by frame, baby.
We are going to get a frame-by-frame look. This one is going to be slowed down for the officials. And here it is. This is what the officials are looking at right now. Frame by frame. Looks like about 1.8, 1.6. All right, 1.6 it is. So the Dolphins are awarded another 0.7 of a second. Great job by my broadcast partner and engineer, Nick Durst, who rejoins me. Nick, what were the officials looking at there?
They were just trying to see the exact time the timeout was signaled for. We got it right. Very proud of our crew here, me and you. Got to get done. You walking everybody through it, me slowing down the replay. And the question is, if the Dolphins score here, do I get the assist on the game-winning shot?
If they get the shot off with less than 0.9 on the clock, I think you do, Nick.
All right, we'll see what happens.
1.6 to play. The Chargers, according to the scoreboard, do have a timeout. And it does not look like they are going to use it. Esposito is the inbounder. She's on the floor with Alarcon Lafaro, who takes the inbound pass. She drives, throws one up at the rim, and nearly banked it in. That one rolls off the front rim, and we are headed to overtime.
Wow, Joe, that was close. I was surprised she even bothered to drive. Maybe looking to draw the foul there. I thought she was going to have to catch and shoot that. But off the rim and bounced away, and we are going to have overtime. Two evenly matched teams, and 40 minutes was not enough. We got 5 more minutes coming up here.
I was shocked. The Dolphins inbounded it so quickly. They threw it to the first open player. That was Lafaro at the top of the arc. Really didn't see any off-ball screens or any setup for that inbounds pass. It appeared as if CSI's intention was to give Lafaro a chance on that floater from the middle of the lane that she has liked to take so much through CSI's first 3 games, as our statistician, Sal Caruso, limping his way to center court. He is going to deliver us some stats from the first 4 quarters of play, and we will share some of those stats with you once they get over here, as Sal is having a word with the officials. But Nick, this CSI women's basketball team has gotten their 2021 season off to as entertaining a start as anyone could have asked for.
Yeah, certainly, Joe. A lot of drama here in the first 3 games. Second time that the game came down to the wire. This time it goes to overtime, and in the first 4 quarters here, Esposito leading the way for the Dolphins with 17 points. Alarcon right behind her with a ginormous 15-point, 21-rebound game. If we keep going at overtime, Joe, the record could be within reach for rebounds. 21, but 7 offensive boards is just absolutely huge. Kaya Johnson right behind them with 11 points. She's loving the mid-range shots right now. And on the other side, DeBose, she has 18, but again, she's 7 for 23 from the field, and she has 8 missed 3-point attempts. And Pergola she's really been the most consistent player, especially from long range. 4 from 9 there, 16 points total for the University of New Haven.
Well, I mentioned how both Pergola and DeBose had played the full 40 minutes for the Chargers. Jenelise Alarcon has also played the full 40 for the Dolphins. She will jump, and that one goes to the Chargers. As Aurora Deshays wins the jump ball. New Haven with the first possession of overtime. And the feed inside to Aurora Deshays splits the Dolphin zone, and the Chargers take an early 2-point lead in the overtime period.
Let's see if the Dolphins can match the scoring here. No room for error, and only 5 minutes, but a turnover here to start the overtime, and Lafaro with the foul. Is that intentional? I'm not sure. Maybe it's something out of frustration there.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Nick. I think that was a frustration foul. Though in Lafaro's defense, she was behind the play, so perhaps she thought she wasn't in good position defensively and gave the foul, but it's 2 fouls, and then we have the bonus situation in the overtime, if I'm not mistaken, as that corner 3 by Pergola is good, and she gives the Chargers a 5-point advantage.
Crucial now for the Dolphins to score on this possession with only about 4 minutes left to play here once they take their shot.
It's also crucial the Dolphins don't let Pergola beat them, as Esposito nearly lost the handle on that ball. This is Alarcon. She drives right into the teeth of the Chargers defense, but she is called for traveling.
Well, a substitution here as Masinge comes on for Johnson. That's a defensive substitution there, no doubt about it.
2 Dolphins turnovers on their first 2 possessions of the overtime for the Chargers. 2 baskets. A Deshays layup and a 3-pointer from Pergola. They were looking for Deshays again right there on the entry pass, but the Dolphins were all over that one.
Crucial for the Dolphins to score here.
So it's Lafaro out to Esposito. Esposito shoots the 3-pointer. It's too long.
Yeah, Joe, surprising there that once that shot went up, the Dolphins were getting back. Nobody was crashing the boards. Second chance opportunities are crucial in overtime.
It was a good look for Esposito over the screen. She had a lot of space. But after a 4-for-4 start, Esposito is now 4 of 7 from downtown. This is DeBose. 3-pointer, no good. Masinge tips it, and she is whistled for the over the back.
Yeah, Joe, way over the back there. Tough call against the Dolphins, but that's what happened, and the Dolphins giving up the free throws here. Chargers could really break open this game here with these free throws.
Chance to make it a 3-possession game from the line for the University of New Haven. It is Brianna Van Cleef missing the first.
Van Cleef, as I mentioned when saying the lineups, playing in Staten Island, her hometown, for the first time.
Second free throw, way off. That one a brick by Van Cleef. 2 huge misses from the line, keeps this a 5-point game. This is Lafaro, takes it all the way to the hoop. And blocking foul is the call as Lafaro appears a bit shaken up.
Lizzie is coming up limping here. We'll see if she's able to continue on this one as Johnson is getting ready to sub in.
Personal foul number 12 for New Haven. Brianna Van Cleef.
The foul on Brianna Van Cleef, I believe, is her 5th. So her day is done. Waiting at the scorer's table is Lisdalia Casio. And Van Cleef will head to the bench.
Personal foul. 14 foul.
Van Cleef's day is done. That foul was ruled as committed not in the act of shooting. So the Dolphins will inbound from the baseline. 2:55 on the clock, 21 to shoot for CSI. And Masinge with a nice cut to the basket. Johnson with the feed, and that is exactly what the Dolphins needed.
Huge basket there by Masinge to lay that up and in. Dolphins now within 3, need a big defensive stand here.
6 16 to shoot for the Chargers. They are going nowhere with it. This is DeBose. 10 on the shot clock. DeBose drives to her left, spins, goes up in traffic. Jump ball will go to the Dolphins. So a big break there for CSI as DeBose was able to create some space. And they're looking for someone to dislodge that basketball as it looked like one official pointed to the other to get up there and jump. But that wasn't going to happen. And nice job by the floor sweeper to dislodge the ball. And the action resumes with the Dolphins trailing by 3. 2:19 on the clock. This is Arvello. Drives baseline, nearly lost the ball. Trapped along that baseline, and the Dolphins were bailed out there as DeBose swats it out of bounds.
Big inbound here for the Dolphins. We'll see if they try to take it to the hoop or go for a three-pointer. Looks like they'll be going to the basket, though. Not as many three-pointers. Shooters on the card. It looks like they called a timeout before the inbounds play by the Dolphins.
Dolphins timeout called ahead of the inbounds pass, and Nick and I will stay right here as Nick, once again, the Dolphins find themselves in a situation where they can diagram a play in the huddle. At the end of the fourth, with about 37 seconds to go, CSI attempted a give and go, trying to get a quick basket. They don't need to score as quickly here as that fourth quarter situation presented a 2-for-1 opportunity. But how can they go about getting a basket quickly here if they're looking to do so?
Certainly, I think what you should do is look to inbound the ball to LaFaro, but it did look like she was inbounding the last one. I would inbound it to LaFaro and then find Johnson open in the mid-range where she has been fantastic all evening long.
We will see if the Dolphins heed your advice. LaFaro will be the inbounder. LaFaro did inbound in the fourth quarter down the stretch. She received it right back and took it straight to the hoop. After a scramble for possession, when LaFaro got the ball back, the ball went out of bounds. Let's see what the Dolphins draw up here. This is Masinge up top to Arvello. She gets a screen from Alarcon. This is Johnson. Johnson takes it inside. This is Masinge in the corner, 5 to shoot. Masinge out to Alarcon. Wide open three is short. And Arvello is denied the rebound by Chambers.
Alarcon 0 for 3 in this game for three-pointers.
She got a great look at it, but Alarcon could not connect. Still plenty of time left. 3-point game, 12 to shoot for New Haven. This is Ocasio. Now DeBose out to Pergola. Open left wing three is good. Bree Pergola yet again from downtown, and the Chargers lead by 6.
She shoots, she scores. Another Pergola right there through the basket, and she has been incredible today with 25 points for the Chargers.
They'll be calling her three-point Pergola after this one, and Alarcon with the spinning hook shot throws up an air ball. And only
might have to foul here, Joe.
Only 1 minute to go in the game. If the Dolphins let the full 20 seconds run off, they will have 40 seconds left in the game, assuming they grab the rebound with possession, and the Chargers call timeout.
We're going to have substitutions as Esposito and Lambert will check in the game here. 2 3-point shooting threats for Joe, and they have to, of course, 1, Joe, got to stop here, but 2, they need to quickly look to put up a three-pointer on the other end.
No doubt they will need a 3, trailing by 6, if they are fortunate enough to still be behind by 6, should the Dolphins get possession back with the score remaining the same. But Nick, I said it down the stretch of the fourth quarter. You could not let Bree Pergola beat you, and unfortunately, if you're a fan of the Dolphins, Pergola to this point has done just that. A pair of huge three-pointers in this overtime, and Pergola is a big part of the reason why the Chargers find themselves leading by 6, potentially 1 basket away from putting this game out of reach on this possession.
Yeah, she's been the Iron Woman as well, playing the full game, and kudos to the New Haven Chargers head coach Deborah Buff for knowing that she could handle it, and she just hit the dagger perhaps there with that last three-pointer.
One more basket certainly could be the dagger, as we have a foul committed by the Dolphins. So the Dolphins choose to intentionally foul, but by that point, there had already been 14 seconds that came off the shot clock. So
should have fouled right away, or at this point tried to just force a missed shot. Chargers now can make this a 3-possession game.
And they do just that, as that free throw may be the dagger for the University of New Haven. Dolphins have no timeouts left. Second free throw, no good. Dolphins have to hurry here. Chamber is able to tip that pass. This is LaFaro. Hands it off to Arvello. Arvello to Lambert. Good look from three is off, as Lambert was a bit off balance. And the Chargers grab the rebound as Arvello and Pergola bumped heads on that play.
Unfortunately, Joe, like that is going to do it here for the Dolphins this evening.
Foul for the Dolphins, number 15, Christina Arvello, her third personal foul.
That foul on Arvello will be her third personal, but you're right, Nick, that just about wraps this one up. 2 shots from the line for Bri Pergola, and the first is no good, so never say never, but the Dolphins will need the Chargers to miss quite a few free throws here. That's not what CSI needed, as they trail by 8, 40 seconds to go. Dolphins need a quick basket. Esposito will try the 3. That one rolls off the rim, no good, rebounded by Johnson. Lambert will try the 3 from the left wing. That one also off the mark, rebounded by Esposito, and she is fouled along the baseline. So Esposito will head to the line for 2, but Nick, looks like there's not enough time left for the Dolphins.
2 good looks there by Esposito and Lambert. Unfortunately, they were unable to convert. Dolphins here, of course, Esposito has to make both of these free throws to get it back within 6, and you have to hope for some help on the other end with missed free throws.
First free throw by Esposito was short, but if you take a look at the numbers from this game, Nick, what really stands out are two things. One, the Dolphins shot only 29% from the field, and they certainly have to be better than that from the floor. They also didn't shoot it well from downtown, 6 of 25, but the reason the Dolphins were able to hang around were their free throw attempts. CSI 18 of 23 from the line for the game. Those 18 made free throws in stark contrast to only 6 made free throws for the University of New Haven. So the Dolphins outscoring the Chargers from the line by 12. Were it not for that disparity in free throws made, this could have been a very lopsided result.
Certainly the free throw shooting helped the Dolphins here greatly. Fortunately, the last 2 games here, the Dolphins have been unable to convert on the open looks from the field. That I see that they are perhaps forcing a lot of shots when they're driving to the lane and going into traffic, trying to shoot these off-balance shots, and just hasn't been working out for the Dolphins.
Well, both teams shot it very poorly in the first quarter. The Dolphins shot it very well in the second quarter, and as a result, they took a lead into the half as the missed 3-pointer was rebounded by Johnson. It is taken away by the Chargers, and they will dribble out the clock, but both teams shot it poorly in the first. The Dolphins shot it very well in the second, took a lead into halftime, but that wasn't enough, as it was all Chargers in the third quarter. From the field anyway, the Dolphins did outscore the University of New Haven in the third, but after a 10-6 fourth quarter, which saw the Dolphins register only 2 made shots, we headed to overtime, and overtime 11-3 in favor of the University of New Haven, which gives them the 8-point lead for CSI. They drop to 1-2 on the season, and for the Chargers, they open their 2021 campaign 3-0. Nick, what are some of your takeaways from this performance by the Dolphins?
Well, I was a disappointing result, but Jennalise Alarcon was tremendous, finishing with over 20 rebounds, over 15 points. I mean, that's not something you're going to see every day. Great job by her, and you could tell, I mean, this is a young team, but there's certainly some great building blocks here for the program moving forward.
No doubt about that, Nick, because once again, the Dolphins had 3 players in double figures. Alarcon with 15, as you mentioned. Esposito with 18. She got off to a red-hot start, but was really a non-factor down the stretch. Lost her stroke late in the game. Kaya Johnson also had 11 points, but as I said, Nick, for the Dolphins, they were doomed by their poor shooting from the field in the game. only 28% from the floor for the College of Staten Island. And I talked about it during the pregame. This Chargers team, not a team that typically takes many three-pointers. They attempted 30 shots from beyond the arc in this game and hit just enough to earn themselves an even score at the end of regulation, then hit 2 huge three-pointers in overtime, both of those by Bri Pergola, who had herself a tremendous game. She scored 24 points, also had 9 rebounds, just missing a double-double. A tremendous effort by Pergola in this one.
Yeah, Pergola, she was incredible. 8 of 17 from the field and 6-11 with those clutch three-pointers, especially at the end of the game. 2 for 4 from the free throw line as well. Knocks in 24, and she is a huge reason why the University of New Haven was able to win this game.
So before we sign off, we want to let you know that our next women's basketball broadcast will be 6 days from today, next Tuesday, November 23rd at 5:30 p.m. The Dolphins will take on Nyack College, but be sure to stay tuned following that game because that is only the first half of a doubleheader here on the ECC Network. Men's basketball also in action next Tuesday night at approximately 7:30 p.m. The men will take on Damon College. So again, that doubleheader beginning next Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. Women's basketball up first, men's basketball to follow approximately 30 minutes following the conclusion of the women's game. So until that broadcast, this has been Joe Foreman, and for my broadcast partner Nick Durst, our camera operator Ehab Muhammad, and all of us here at the College of Staten Island, we thank you for watching. Once again, our final score, the Chargers 72 and the Dolphins 64. Our next broadcast next Tuesday night, women's basketball up first at 5:30, followed by men's basketball at approximately 7:30. If you can't attend the game, be sure to join us here on the ECC Network for that broadcast, and enjoy the rest of your Wednesday night.